ready.
Oh yeah, and I've just been casually mentioning rolling around. Did I forget to mention that in PoE 2 we added a dodge roll to every character? Just press spacebar at any time to roll. There's no cooldown and no limitations.
Well, in PoE 2 we have another major new system to introduce to solve these kinds of problems, and it starts with weapon swap. Now in PoE 1, weapon swap isn't really used much for its originally intended use case. We imagined that people were going to be swapping in and out between different weapons to deal with whatever situation they were in. People just don't do that at all, and a large reason for that is because it's really awkward to do. In PoE 2 we wanted to solve that. The staff Octavian is using here has an ice mod on it that makes it great for when he's using his ice spells. We would also like to be able to make sure that the build works just as well for his lightning spells. If Octavian equips his previous staff in his second weapon set, you can see that it appears on the character's back. Now we're going to open up the skills screen. If Octavian opens up the skill options for his lightning skills, you can see here that you can choose which weapon sets are usable with each skill. First, we uncheck set 1 from being used by his lightning skills. Then we go through the cold skills and turn those off with his lightning weapon. Now, when we use Spark, the character will automatically switch to the lightning staff on his back, and then use the skill. When Octavian uses Ice Nova, his character automatically switches over to his ice staff before using it. Figure each skill for which set to use, or both if you don't mind which. There's a very short time penalty to switching, so it can be good to leave some skills on both sets if it doesn't matter which weapon set you're using. But we still have the problem of passives. Wouldn't it be nice if we could specialize in both cold and lightning passives on the character? Well, in PoE 2 you can. We're on the passive skill screen here, and you can see that we're close to both a cold and a lightning cluster. At the top right of the screen, you can see where we have some weapon set specific points to allocate. If Octavian holds shift, he can allocate set 1 to the cold passives, and then allocate set 2 to the lightning passives. Now check this out. As we weapon swap, our passive tree changes from one build to the other automatically. Whenever we cast the appropriate spell, the character's passives reconfigure on the fly to the correct build for that spell. Now you can't do this with every passive on your tree. Only points granted from skill books will allow this kind of dual specialization, so you can't change from a mace-slamming warrior into a fire elementalist with the press of a button, but it certainly increases the number of options you have for builds. There's a huge number of places where the system can shine. You could augment your Dagger Shadow build with traps, or have a great curse setup on your Witch in one spec and then move to your Chaos debuff spells with the other. It really opens up your options. This rare monster dropped an uncut gem. This is a good opportunity to talk about how skill gems drop in PoE 2. Instead of dropping specific gems, you can find uncut gems. Just right click on them and pick whatever skill you want. The gem will come pre-leveled to the level of the area that dropped it, so it's a lot easier to change between skills in PoE 2. This time, I think it might be cool to grab one of our meta gems. Meta gems are skills that can have other skills socketed into them, changing how they work. Uncut gems both level gems and give new gems, so we no longer have experience on gems anymore. You actually have to pick the skills you want to level up, and this actually changes the game quite significantly, because previously, the number one newbie question is like, why do I have to manually level up my skills? Like, it was just a common thing. And like, I realized that, okay, if someone's asking that, it's because they're not having fun doing that, right? And as soon as we made it so you pick what skill to level up, and then or you can pick a new skill, like suddenly just the fact that there's a decision, and you're like, do I want more damage on Armor Break or do I want to get Shockwave Totem? It's just immediately like a cool thing. Two other things. And I wanted to go over this too. The way that support gems work now is, first of all, you've got the screen, which I think you've seen before in that other thing. So we've got that sort of the recommendation system. But also this screen here, which currently doesn't do this, but effectively shows you all the gems that will work with a given skill. So that means that you'll be able to see what exactly works. But the other thing as well is that we've actually changed the way attribute requirements on support gems work now. So effectively every single travel node you allocate is one extra support gem of that color. So if you want more red support gems, so you can see here, like I could have 27, because I'm a strength character, I have room for 27 red support supports.
Right.
Only room for 1 deck support and room for 5 int supports because of the amount of attributes I've got.
Right.
But even if I want another deck support, all I have to do is allocate 1 travel node, and then I can do another one. So the other thing is, of course, yes, we now have the ability to specify what attribute, and that's...
Is that for all the travel nodes?
Yeah, every travel node is like...
But I need not do it alone.